Welcome back. Are you feeling a little bit stressed or maybe a lot stressed? Here's the deal. You're an entrepreneur and there's a lot of stress that goes into running a business and managing a family and all of the things that you do. So feeling stressed is normal, but it doesn't have to be your story. In today's video, we're going to talk about what is the first step to managing stress as an entrepreneur. I'm Amy Walker, your biz bestie. If you've ever wished that you just had a best friend that you could ask all your business questions to, you are in luck, because in this playlist, we are giving you the real scoop on business. I'm gonna be honest, whenever I have to fill out those forms at the doctor's office or, where they say, when you're getting a massage, how often do you feel stressed? I'm like, every day, like every day. And that's normal. You are doing a lot to grow your business, and stress is kind of a natural piece of that puzzle. But the good news is you don't have to feel stressed all the time. I love that I get to grow my business and feel passionate and manage my stress most days. I do have the occasional meltdown day, and that's fine too. That's also normal and part of being human. But our goal is to get to the point where you can manage the stress. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you why stress is such a common part of entrepreneurship, what to do about it, why sometimes the advice that you get from your non-entrepreneur friends and family is actually bad advice for you as a business owner. And I'm going to give you my favorite de-stressing hacks that you can use in order to feel productive and great each day. So let's jump into it. I love the quote by Billie Jean King that pressure is a privilege, and I remind myself of that when I'm starting to feel like the pressure of all the things that I'm working towards piling up. I will remind myself that I'm grateful to be here, because guess what? Before I was an entrepreneur, I also felt stress about different things. Sometimes it was stress about paying the bills, or if my light was gonna get shut off because I knew my bill was late, but it was still stressful. Life has stress. I think the challenge as an entrepreneur is that there's so many things that depend on you that really you have to show up for, that you tend to have every day more to do than you can possibly accomplish. And so every day you're walking into a stressful environment. So that just means that we need higher level skills in order to deal with it. Let's talk for a minute about capacity. We only have so much capacity as human beings, and our capacity is taken up by two things. Number one is the actual responsibilities that you have to do. Number two is how you feel about the responsibilities. As an entrepreneur, you got a lot of responsibilities, and those can max out your capacity. But if you add into the mix how you feel about them, if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling scared or you're feeling frustrated, then you'll hit your capacity so much sooner and you'll just be stuck in stress. Overwhelm is an emotion, not a situation. Think about it. Have you ever felt overwhelmed when there was really not that much going on and everything was fine? And have you ever felt pretty peaceful in the midst of chaos? Overwhelm is an emotion. Is not a situation. So we cannot always change our situations, but we can change how we feel about the situations, and that can make an almost instantaneous change in your stress level. So stress is normal. There's 4 different types of stress. 2, I would say, fall into the normal category that you can kind of take care of and manage with some stress hacks that we're going to share. And then 2, I would suggest that you're going to need to get some support. So number 1 is situational stress. This is the stress like, today I'm filming a lot of videos and I have some copywriting that has to get done, and I'm feeling a little bit of stress about how are they both going to come together. That's situational stress. The second is still, I think, manageable as an entrepreneur, but you definitely need to make some changes in how you're structuring your work, and that's constant stress. If every day the situational stress is constant, so you never get a break from it, that's a problem, and we need to do business differently. Now, numbers 3 and 4 are the type of stress that you're gonna actually wanna get some outside professional support on. So this would be anxiety and depression. This is when your stress and your emotion levels are beyond what you can fix with strategies and tools, and it may require counseling. I'm a big fan of counseling. If that's what you need in order to be able to show up at your best, I fully support you in that, and there's no shame in it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. go to counseling. It's been a godsend for my family. We are big fans. You probably have friends and family who want to support you in being happier and feeling less stressed, and they give you advice that can actually be kind of bad advice. So we talked about the capacity, how you have, your responsibilities and then your emotional burdens. For people that are not entrepreneurs, oftentimes how they regulate their stress is they just do less. And so you'll have well-intentioned friends that will be like, you know what? Your business is already doing well. You don't need to go for that next thing. Why don't you just pull back a little bit? Why don't you just do less? Why don't you just free up time in your schedule? But the problem is the things that they're telling you not to do are the things that you need to do in order to hit your dreams, your goals, and your vision for your life. So instead, I'm going to propose that instead of getting rid of the things that we want to do, let's change the way we feel and lower the emotional burden level. So that way we can kind of have the best of both worlds. Feel good, but also accomplish a lot. All right, let's jump into the stress management strategies. So number one is you've got to manage your expectations of yourself. As entrepreneurs, a lot of times we're very high performers, and we set very unrealistic expectations of ourselves. Like we ask us to accomplish more than what we would ever ask anyone else to do. And that is setting you up for stress and for overwhelm and for feeling like a failure. So look at what you're asking of yourself. When I start to feel stress creep in, that's usually one of the first things I'll look at. I'm like, am I asking myself to do the impossible here? Am I asking myself to do more than I would ask a friend to do? Am I being the worst boss in the world to myself? And then from there, I'll make adjustments. Next stress management strategy, number 2, is don't say yes when it's not in your best interest. Learn to say no and feel great about it. This is hard sometimes because great opportunities will come your way that saying yes would actually increase your stress level, your overwhelm level, or increase the stress of the people around you and disturb your support network. There are always great opportunities. Pick the ones that are truly good for you instead of just picking any opportunity that comes your way. Number 3 is my personal policy. I don't work stressed. I don't work overwhelmed. I don't work frantic. Any one of those emotions coming in is going to increase my emotion level and it's going to decrease my cognitive abilities. So I'm actually going to be doing work and showing up at sub-performance. It's not going to be good work. So instead, I will recognize how I'm feeling and I will take a break and I will go and shift some things so that I can come back to work feeling good, feeling focused, and ready to go. So let's talk about these little tools that we can use to change how we're feeling in the middle of the day. The first one that I use is journaling. I love journaling. This is where I'll actually take a piece of paper and I'll write, I feel stressed because, I feel overwhelmed because, I feel angry because, I feel frustrated because. I'll write down everything that comes to mind. I read my list out loud. I have this nice emotional release. I burn my papers, I forgive myself, and I feel so much better about the things that I need to do. I can go and get back to work. Next is meditation. Now, I am not the world's best meditator. My mind has a very hard time quieting down, so I love guided meditations. I'll download one onto my phone, spend 10-15 minutes just being peaceful, going through the guided meditation. And again, it resets my brain, it resets my emotions so that I can come back and continue to progress towards the things that I want. Next is breath work. This is what I use when I don't have time for anything else, because even just like 10 deep breaths can lower your cortisol levels and lower your stress. So I'll take deep breaths, I'll practice breathing faster, I'll do different inhale, exhale patterns, but when I don't have a lot of time and I know I need to shift how I feel, breath work is my go-to strategy. Next is breaks. Take them. You are not a machine, you need them. If you're lacking focus or you're feeling like you just can't quite seem to get everything to line up, it could be a good sign that you just need a break. Go on a walk for 10 minutes, take a 15-minute power nap, call a friend and talk to them about something totally non-business related, and you'll be amazed at how much more able you are to come back and not feel quite so stressed out. And last is reassess your deadlines and your timelines. I was having a conversation with my podcast co-host and good friend a couple months ago, and I was feeling very overwhelmed. And she said, well, Amy, like, who set these deadlines? And I was like, me. And she said, you are keeping yourself hostage. Like, you created the situation, you have the key to change it, do something about it. And it was like, oh my gosh, you're right. So I'm not saying don't work hard and finish things, but sometimes we set deadlines that just weren't even doable or good for us. So I look at those things, and when the stress is coming from too much situational stress and I just can't get all the things done, I will look at it and say, okay, I gotta change some deadlines and I've gotta change some timelines. And then I'll just restructure and move things around in my calendar until it feels like I can breathe again. My last strategy is my morning and evening routines. So I've given you a lot of the things that I do during the day when stress starts to creep in. But here's what I have learned. If I start off the day feeling stressed, I tend to work through the whole day feeling stressed, and then I go to bed feeling stressed, and it perpetuates the cycle. This is when I get into that space of constant stress, like it becomes permanent and regular. And what I have found is that if I will start off the day feeling calm and peaceful and clear, then I can manage those little stressful moments and use my tools to kind of tweak during the day. And then at night, that's the time when I want to release all of the stress of the day, all of the failures, all of the disappointments, and really focus on what I want to create in my life and where I'm going. When I do that, it helps me to be able to wake up in the morning feeling powerful and feeling ready for my day. All right, my bestie, now you know what is the first step in managing stress as an entrepreneur. The next video that I want you to go watch is what is the foundation for starting a successful business. Go check it out. Click the link. You know you want to watch it.